What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 23 of our Millwall save here on Football Manager 20. And today we move into our third season as Millwall manager and our second year in a row in the Premier League. And we are going to take a look at some things. First, we'll take a look at the league table. And we'll take a look at how the preview is supposed to go. And as you can see, we are predicted to finish dead last, which is tons of fun. Exciting. We have another couple of years that are going to be pretty difficult before we can start moving our way up the table. At the moment, it's all about putting together a squad that's capable of staying up consistently before we get the money to kind of force really good players into the team. It's always one of those things. I mean, you can look at a team like Bournemouth and all the players they've got. You can look around and just see value is way higher than we could ever really pull in at this moment in time. So it's going to take a while to get every player in the squad at this kind of consistency up here. So, you know, we're going to roll with it. We're going to take it as it comes. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but hopefully with a couple of years in the Premier League, we would have built a squad that's capable of starting to continuously move up the table. So once again, this year, let's not get relegated. Let's see what we can do, but we'll go about it that way. Let's take a look at transfers and our transfer history. And as you can see, we have bought some players in, let some players go, and let's walk through it. Let's start with the players we've let go. Jason McCarthy, the right back, didn't really play last year. More of an emergency kind of guy on the right. Out the door. We didn't do too badly. 550K. I'm comfortable with that. It goes up to 650. I'll deal with it. Charlie Ball and Jerry Skalak both go out on loan. Skalak, we could not sell off. He's making 24 grand a week. I was just trying to get him out of the club. He's in his last year of his contract, so what I wanted to do if I couldn't sell him was loan him out somebody who could take as much of his wages as possible. To Police here took 60%, so we'll deal with that as it is. His wages come off the bill completely toward the end of the year, so we'll deal with it that way. And then Tuazi, we let out on loan. A pretty decent player, still has time to grow here, but he needs to start getting first team football, so we'll let him go out on loan for a little bit. Now, we will start with the ins, the players we've bought in. As you can see, 8 players in. We'll just start at the top and move down. Darko Todorovic, right back. Not too bad of a player here. Better defensively than Romeo. Maybe, pretty decent going forward as well. If we compare him to Romeo, we can really get a look at how well-rounded he is. And he's definitely going to get his game time this year. Let's take a look at him with Romeo. As you can see, there's a lot of good with him. Romeo better, physically, bit better defensively. Todorovic here mentally as well. We're gonna start with Romeo, but for the big games where we're gonna have to defend, Todorovic is gonna play, and I believe eventually Todorovic will actually take over that spot ahead of Romeo as we go forward. £2.8 million. Not too bad. Next, we have Jonathan Amon, the USA international. He's got 1 cap, but not too bad here. There are some things he could definitely work on. He is only 22. Composure and decision making, and vision. He can definitely work on those things. He's more of a backup at the moment. Can play on either side, which is something we were looking for. We were trying to move on Mahoney. It didn't really happen. Mahoney, he just had a bad year last year, and it's difficult to kind of continue to move on with him. So we'll see. Jonathan Amon, a couple £1 million there, 2.7. Most of these players are probably overpaid in terms of wages, but we're kind of going to have to suck that up for the time being. Most of them have clauses where we go down, their wages drop. We'll work on, balancing the budget as soon as we are a proper team and we're continuing to stay in this division. Then we can move on from kind of just spending and spending. A lot of players from outside the country really want a ton of money, so it's kind of difficult that way. But next, we have two center backs. One, Jan Bednarak, he was at Crystal Palace. He's a Southampton player in real life, but not a bad player. We needed a player to replace Mavropanos, and we've gotten him here. 8 million, maybe a touch overpaid, but he's a proper good player. We can compare him to Cooper, who we had last year, and as you can see, they're very, very similar players. Cooper better in the air, but defensively, otherwise, he's a pretty good option, and we can hopefully go forward with a good center back pair that's ours as well. Mavropanos, of course, in on loan. I'm uncomfortable really making loan players a huge part of the squad, so now that we got a permanent stay in, that's good. And even though he seems a lot older in real life, he still is only 25, a couple years into this, so a good option to have. Another center back here, Stuart Finley, 25 years of age. We bought him in from Kilmarnock, and he has got everything you would like in a central defender, especially a no-nonsense one, as you can see. All his attributes fit that pretty well. We're going to play him as a regular central defender. There's things he can obviously improve on, composure and decision-making only at 10, but everything else looking pretty good. I'm hoping his physicals aren't going to really mess him up. He's going to be our third option here. He's not the quickest, but everything else is pretty good. Jumping reach, balance, natural fitness is good. Strength at 17 is nice, but his center back technicals are very, very good. 16 heading, 12 marking, 16 tackling. Hopefully he is a good option for us. He will be our third center back for the moment, but very, very capable of stepping in. And now our biggest transfer of the window, Kieran Dowell. He came from Granada. He's a Derby player. He's moved about quite a bit in this save and in real life, really. But we were looking at, possibly moving Bacuna over to box and then being able to bring in another creative force, someone a little bit better in creativity. And I think we have found it in Kieran Dowell. He will play on playmaker or Mazzala, whatever it may be. But he's got some pretty decent attributes for midfield, especially going forward. 14 passing, 14 vision is nice. He's still only 23, a bit to grow. Physically pretty decent, mentally pretty good as well. I think he is a pretty good upgrade in that spot. And as I said, we're going to play him as the playmaker and move Bacuna over into that box-to-box role. And we'll see if we can do a little bit more creating this year. We didn't score too many goals last year, but hopefully this year we can score a bit more. So we'll see about that. Next, we have Paulinho. He is a regen. The first regen I believe we have signed. He is 19. Got him from VIT. So in Brazil. So we'll see how he goes. He's more of a project kind of player. He's 19. Got pretty good all around. I mean, he's very, very quick. His mentals are pretty decent. Still things to work on, of course, and technically still things to work on. He is only 19, but he's got plenty to grow. Paid 3.9 million for him. I think we're going to recoup that at minimum with him at the squad. We'll go ahead and compare him to Romeo. And as you can see, it's not a huge world of difference. Of course, Romeo is the better player, but I think at the end of it all, Paulinho will have passed them up in most sections. So looking good for Paulinho, and hopefully he grows into a proper good player. Next, Kikas, 22 years old, striker. Not too bad. Now, we were looking to replace Bradshaw. There just weren't too many strikers out there. I've bought this lad in because I would like to transition to an advanced forward this year or next year at least. So making that transition happen quicker is not too bad. We can go ahead and compare him to Bradshaw, someone who I believe we're going to be moving on sooner rather than later, and technically he's just miles better than Bradshaw. Mentally he's okay, not too bad. Some things he has to work on, and physically he's pretty good as well. Still only 22, should grow. I think we're going to go with Nola up front, Kikas second behind him, and then Bradshaw third in line. And we'll see how that really goes forward. there weren't too many really, really good strikers that wanted to join us. So we got what we got. We didn't really force this. I think this is a signing that can turn out pretty well. It was only £2 million we bought him in for. I think, in the end, this will be a pretty decent £2 million spent. And then finally, our last signing, who just happened the other day, Alessandro Plazzari, the goalkeeper out of AC Milan here. We had to bend a few things here. He really wants the money. He really wanted to make this club a stepping stone. He's stepping down in his view. I think this is an unbelievable signing for us, and hopefully our goalkeeper of the future. We bought him in for £10 million. May have overpaid just a little for what he is right this second, but he should grow into a proper good goalkeeper. He's going to pass Darlow up for the moment. Physically, miles better than Darlow, of course, but he's got some really good technicals here that are really helpful, of course. Aerial reach, command of area, communication are very, very good. Reflexes are nice, and then everything else is at minimum serviceable for this moment in time, and everything should and will grow the more he plays. So a new starting goalkeeper, hopefully he turns into an absolute star. He will probably have some growing pains with some of the things he's got to work on here, but for the moment, a very, very good signing, I feel, and something that should really go down as a really, really good signing going forward. So we spent $49 million. We didn't really send too much out, $550,000. There's some wage budget out the window there, but we'll see. For the moment, a lot of times when you move up, what really happens is that a lot of players who are kind of fringy or on the verge of fringe in the championship, they don't move on. A lot of them have those, promotion clauses that give them a lot of money once they move up, and they kind of just stick around, for a little bit, and it kind of holds on to you just for a little. Eventually, a lot of these players who fall into that will eventually move on. Hutchinson, Aidan O'Brien, I feel Mahoney, we were kind of just trying to get out. Nobody wanted him, so he'll be an emergency kind of guy going forward, but we'll deal with it as it comes. But for the moment, I think we have a pretty decent squad here, and this was what the team would currently look like if everybody was fit and ready to go, and we'd be rolling with it today. Knoll up front, Wallace on the right, Niguez on the left, and then Bakuna and Dowell in midfield, sitting in front of Endurum, and then Manning, Cooper, Bednarak, and Romeo. I think by the end of the year, we're going to see a couple of changes, one being on this right back position. I think Todorovic is going to end up taking over that spot, and then Niguez, I think we'll see. On left side, I think Amon is probably going to work his way in there. The best thing about Amon is that he can play both of the positions we do up here. So for the moment, we're going to run with Niguez. He had a really good end of the year last year, but we'll see going forward how it'll pan out. But for the moment, this is the team. We're actually going to go ahead and save it. We'll save it. Starting 4-3. Oh, no. Oh, God. I clicked on it instead of saved it. Typical that. That is so typical. All right, well, we have some things to change around, but we're getting ready. We're going to jump into the new season. Hopefully, we'll try and start off well, really, but we've got Chelsea to start here. I thought about playing this game before jumping in to the new season just to see what we could, I don't plan on winning this game or anything like that. But it's the new season. We definitely got to jump into it. Hopefully, we can go ahead and do that. I got to maneuver this whole bloody thing around again. Unbelievable. I can't believe I clicked that. But this is what the team should look like. And does. Perfect. And then, is the bench good? Actually, Darlow swapped out. Finley onto the bench. This should be it. And is. I want to bring Ferguson onto the bench instead. So let's go ahead and save this team selection, shall we? And then hopefully we can go ahead with this new system, or not really a new system. We may make it a little bit more, a couple changes here and there as we go forward, as we kind of try and make it more complicated. I'm not going to play out of the defense too much. We'll try and work the ball into the box a little bit more, and we'll just roll with it as it is. So here we are, our first game of the season, Millwall Chelsea, away from home. It's going to be pretty difficult. Hopefully we can turn this into something. Todorovic is going to start today. Defensively, of course, we were speaking, he's a little bit better. And Mahoney can come on for Romeo. We don't need him in the squad just today. But everyone else is fit and ready to go. Darryl can play 45 minutes. We'll actually bring him on in the second half. We'll get a little bit more defensive and bring Bakuna on to attack, and then Thompson on as well. So we're going to see as we go forward. And look at that. Number 1 is available. Lucky lad. Lucky lad. He was signed just a couple days ago. Just before I started this video up, he got signed. So, not too bad. Not too bad. But, yeah, we're going to have... Oh, Camavinga's here. He gets so good. 18 years of age. Ooh. A lot of growth there. We owe Chelsea. Let's get this season started off by not getting blown away here. This is going to be a very, very tough game. I am incredibly worried to start. We're going to go down onto... We'll go down onto cautious. I don't really like going down onto cautious, but we'll see how this works to start. Oblak and goal. Camavinga, Ruben Diaz. This is a good team here. A very good team they've got here. And look at that. Top of the table, or second in the table. We'll take it as time goes. If this game had 0 highlights, I'd be completely comfortable with that, I think, to start this season off. And after 15 minutes, there's been 1 shot the entire game. We'll try to get creative. Why not? But they have a free kick. Hadoi goes for goal, and it hits the side netting. Decent effort from there. Not too bad. But very, very little happening so far. A bit of rustiness from both sides, as you would expect, coming into a new season. As time ticks and ticks. This is very comfortable for us, but they have a free kick. It's clipped in and oof, just over the bar. I don't expect us to have very much going forward today. Half hour gone, though, and we're holding pretty firm, which is all we could really ask for in this situation. Approaching 40 minutes, and it's still 0-0, so everything is going pretty well, I would think, though they have a throw in here. It gets headed out. Kovacic is going to get onto it. Camavinga, as they look for a goal just before halftime. Wouldn't be too great, would it? Todorovic has it heads away. Emerson on it here. So we put some effort in, and Hadoi is in a good spot, and Plazzari comes up with the save. 1 minute of added time. A good save there from Plazzari, the first we've seen of him having to make a save, and he makes it. As Jed Wallace brings this away, and Kovacic takes him out. Bit harsh. Yes, a booking for the lad. But it looks like we are going to get to halftime. 0-0. We haven't had any shots or anything, but not too bad. I'm happy with the performance. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. I'm comfortable with that. One thing I do want to deal with here is play for set pieces, because I think we can hurt them on set pieces. We've got some big guys, or at least a big guy, Jake Cooper. We have to set up corners and free kicks, because last year it just reset itself. We're going to have to make sure we set it up this time round. Todorovic has it away. Abraham now looking for it. Tamori's on it. Gets it into Abraham. Mount. And he goes for goal from distance, and it's wide of the mark. We haven't had any shots once again. There's still, as that clearance is not great by the goalkeeper, but Plazzari doesn't exactly have the best passing, best with the ball at his feet, but Jed Wallace is on it here, and he goes for goal, and he's forced to save it. Oh my god, I thought he was going to drag that into the back of the net. Goal line technology there, as he almost does. That would have been incredible way to take the lead. They have a corner here, though, and it's headed in and headed over. Some more highlights starting to come their way. We are going to make a substitution. What I am going to do is bring Bakuna over, and then we'll bring in Kieran Dow. See if he can create a little bit of something, and then the guys can come on and come off, and Amon can come on for his debut. Make a couple changes there. See if we can force something here. Since Odoi goes for goal and he hits the post on another close free kick. His free kicks have been getting pretty close. But for the moment we hold firm. 62 minutes gone. It's still 0-0. They have a throw-in. Tomori gets it to Kovacic. Can't quite nick it off. And that's well played. And Pizzari ends up with the catch. I'm getting nervous here because now we're in a position where I would like to hold on to this. At the beginning, I was just waiting for the goal, but now I'd like to hold on. Hudson-Odoi standing over the free kick. He clips it in, and oof, Pizzari comes out and does really well to save that. Is there another highlight here as that gets clipped forward? Jed Wallace is on it. Don't lose it. Todorovic clips it forward. Diaz gets it out there. Abraham is going to get onto this. And it's come back. Hudson-Odoi stepping forward. Kovacic takes a shot and it's deflected and out for a corner. They are on attacking now. Really going for it with 23 minutes to go. Pulisic swings the corner in. Ruben Diaz is going to collect it. But can we nick it off? And we can. Amon. And he clips it forward. And the highlight is still going, which makes me a little bit uncomfortable. That's a good ball out there to Emerson. And Emerson's in and Todorovic brings him down. Oh, God. Come on. We were doing so well. And a penalty to come. Can Pizzari save it? Mount to take, and he sends Pizzari the wrong way. And, oh, man. On to positive we go. Oh, we were doing well. That's so annoying. When you're holding a clean sheet. Bloody penalty. Not what we would have liked. Ferguson with the free kick. He clips it in. And it's going to be clipped down. And Kovacic clears it out. Oh, no. What's he done? I hate that. That animation happens way too much. It's 2-0, and that's that. Todorovic with 2 mistakes. We said he'd take over at right back. 2 silly mistakes. Well, this animation happens all the time, and I can't tell you how stupid it is. Just let it go out of play. They never let it go out of play in this game, and that happens way too much. Ugh. We have a throw. Todorovic gives it to Wallace, and he's brought down. That looks outside the box. It is a free kick. Shame. Could have found our way back into it. Can still technically do it here with the free kick as that comes across, and damn, it's headed down and floating around. But, you know, as we said, we did all right here. A penalty and then a stupid animation that we continue to get. It's been happening all year with this Football Manager. That particular animation is so bad. Nobody ever does that, and that happens all the time. Sometimes the touches are really, really awful, but it looks like we're going to lose here 2-0. We didn't exactly play very well or anything like that, but we held our own for a majority of it. And, you know, a loss on a couple of silly little things isn't something I'm going to worry about too much. Todorovic should end up being a decent signing still. A penalty, which will happen to everybody on this team, I assure, before the end of the year. And then that animation, I don't particularly blame him for the animation. But it is what it is. A 2-0 loss to start off the season. We'll deal with it, but we'll see how it goes from here. So, where do we come back? I kind of wanted to come. I think I'll just come back for Villa and Norwich. And we'll just see if our season gets off to a good start. And then we'll see as we go forward. We have a string of games here. Brighton, Southampton, Everton, Bournemouth, Sheffield, Leicester, Newcastle, Wolves, and Tottenham and Watford. This stretch right here, we need to go ahead and collect a decent amount of points from. It doesn't, but it still doesn't look like 3 of our first 5 are Chelsea, Arsenal, United. Then we have Liverpool and Tottenham in there, and then that's pretty much it. City are split. So, if we get off to a good start, and we get some points from the next 2 games, we have, and we can go on a run there, that would be obviously ideal, guys. But for now, that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you folks are enjoying it. I hope you guys are looking forward to the new season. But for now, that's it, guys. So peace.